This is David Wildman here again with another episode of Btekt. And today I've got HTC's new flagship, the U12 Plus. But first, it's my pleasure to announce that the winner of the Sony XZ2 was Nadim from Sarajevo. And I gave him a call to let him know he'd won. So congratulations man, you've won the XZ2.
Oh, I can't believe it. I don't know, maybe this is the first time I ever won anything.
Well, congratulations Nadim. Hope you enjoy your new XZ2, and it would be great if you do give us a call when you receive it. And also, thanks to Direct Mobile, from tomorrow on the channel we have Samsung Week. This means lots of Samsung content both here and on Direct Mobiles. Plus Direct Mobiles will have special deals on all Samsung handsets. If you check them out during Sony Week or Huawei Week, you'll realise that these are great deals. But also, Direct Mobiles will be giving away an S9 handset. I haven't been told yet if it's the Plus or if it's the normal S9, but knowing Direct Mobiles, it will probably be the Plus. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be the first to know whatever happens here at Btekt. So anyway, on with the show. So today I've got the new flagship, the HTC U12 Plus, complete with a rather shocked look on its face from the dual camera setup and the rear mounted fingerprint scanner. This is the ceramic black colour, which is really a clear mirror finish. It's also available in a very fancy flame red, and what will probably turn out to be the most popular of the three, a transparent blue, which allows you to see some of the very tidy inner workings of the phone. This phone is full of gesture-based commands. Using HTC's EdgeSense, it allows you as a shortcut to squeeze or double tap on the sides of the phone. The sides are pressure sensitive and allow you to customize how much pressure is needed to activate the function. By default, a squeeze will get you into the camera app, and a double tap will activate the one-handed mode, which is really useful actually. But it can be used for other things like a back button or a navigation key. Some other gesture commands are a double twist with the handset to switch between the front and rear cameras, and a firm press on the fingerprint scanner, which will reduce the volume for you, which I found really annoying because it kind of activates all the time without you really pushing it. We have all the buttons on the right hand side, although they're not actually physical buttons. They're just little notches that don't move at all but provide haptic feedback just to let you know that you've pushed it. Now the problem I have with this is that unless you're intending to push it and expecting the feedback, you sometimes don't realize that you're pushing it. So for example, if your hand is on it and you're not intending to push it, you may get some haptic feedback, but because you're not expecting it, you don't know that you've just turned the volume down. This phone to me is quite frustrating because the volume is always down. You make sure that your ring is on, but by the time you take the phone out of your pocket again, the phone's on mute, and it happens a lot. It seems to be that you can activate the EdgeSense when you're not actually touching the sides, but just putting some kind of pressure on the phone at some place. You can adjust the pressure sensitivity, but even on maximum, it's still a problem for me. There's nothing on the front except a 6-inch Super LCD 6 screen with a 1440 by 2880 resolution and the two front-facing cameras, which are twin 8-megapixel shooters with f2.0 lenses. You'll also find a front-facing stereo speaker. The second speaker can be found underneath, along with a USB Type-C port. No headphone jack here, but you get a pair of HTC's noise-cancelling USB Type-C headphones in the box. There are a few small holes dotted around the handset. These are directional microphones that can combine to give the HTC the ability to zoom in on the sound of whatever you're filming. On the left side there's the SIM tray, which has room for either 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and a micro SD card. Overall, I like the design of the HTC. It's got a nice big screen, it's easy to hold and grip, and I am a bit of a magpie and like the shiny finish, but it's probably not for everyone. The camera on this phone has been given a DxO mark of 103, making it the highest rated dual camera setup so far. The rear camera setup is a 12 megapixel sensor with an f1.75 lens and the HTC's ultra pixels. This is complemented with a 16 megapixel telephoto with optical image stabilization and an f2.6 lens. From my time with this camera, I'm really impressed with the performance. The HDR boost is really impressive, letting you keep details in both the shadows and the highlights in high contrast scenes. So for example, you'll still get the details in the sky, as well as the details in the shaded area, all in one shot. It's not actually one shot, the HTC will discreetly take 2 or 3. The nighttime performance in this camera is very good too, coming very close to, if not on par with the Galaxy S9. I think we're going to have to do a comparison between this and the S9 Plus. So make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments section if you want to see that. Slow motion video tops out at 1080p, 240 frames per second. And it looks fantastic. Just check it out. Nice and slow, excellent video quality, and buttery smooth. The HTC can shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second, and it looks amazing, working well with the stabilizer. Although I'm not doing it justice in this shot, as my hands are full. But if you take a bit more care, you get great results from this phone. I do like it when manufacturers put effort into their front-facing cameras, because most of them are pretty poor, let's face it. This one, however, is shooting at 1080p, 30 frames per second, and the quality is excellent. The HTC U12 Plus is powered by the Snapdragon 845 processor, and it has a nice 6GB of RAM, which keeps everything moving along nicely, just as you'd expect. This model has 64GB of RAM and microSD card support up to 400GB, so that's potentially a lot of onboard storage, which you will definitely need as the 4K video is shot at 56 megabits per second, which is high quality 4K video. This will fill up the 64 gigs of onboard storage pretty quickly. To put 56 megabits per second into perspective, 4K video on YouTube is compressed to 40 megabits per second, and when I tested the Huawei P20 Pro, that was shooting 4K at around about 30 megabits per second. So you will get high quality 4K video out of this phone, and the results speak for themselves. The 4K is stabilized as well, unlike certain other phones I can mention, and stabilized well. There's also IP68 water and dust resistance here, which is always nice to have. And as a backup to the fingerprint scanner, you also get facial recognition, which I have to say doesn't work as well as some of the other systems that I've used. I mean, it doesn't recognize me when I have my hood up. The battery is 3500 mAh and supports quick charge 4, but if you have the Edge Sense on, this battery will not last you the day. In fact, in my opinion, putting Edge Sense in this phone was a big mistake. It's way too battery intensive, and you're always inadvertently triggering it. Once you turn off the Edge Sense, it becomes a much more enjoyable phone to use. It's got a nice big screen with reasonable sized bezels, making it nice and easy to hold in landscape mode. The battery is good enough to get it through the day, and it has a fantastic camera. This phone has got a lot going for it, and I actually really like it, as long as Edge Sense is off. I like HTC's overlay that they have over Android, I like the blink feed, I even like the quirky look it has. But if I couldn't switch off the Edge Sense, I would probably hate this phone. But as it's really simple to switch off, should the fact that it's there really detract so much from this phone? I don't think so. I've been umming and ahhing about whether or not I could recommend this phone to you guys, and I've come to the decision that I can. Just please make sure you switch off the Edge Sense. Do that and you've got a great phone. Actually, a little tip that I have for you, if you do decide to buy this phone, is to switch off all the Edge Sense functions, except for the double tap feature, and assign that as a back button. Comes in useful, and doesn't drain too much battery power. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching my review about the HTC U12 Plus. Stick around for some comparison videos between this and some of the very best camera phones out there. And don't forget to enter our competition to win a Samsung S9 Plus. As usual, leave a like or a dislike, and I'll see you next time.